Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to End of Day Stock Market Update. Today is Thursday, November 2nd, 2023. And let's start with Bitcoin futures. Okay, this is BTC futures. You can see it's consolidating. And these green lines are the gaps to fill. Okay, so if I go and hide this line, EMA lines, you can see multiple gaps are here. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see this gap which was created. You can see this gap up. It was created on 29th of October. And then there's another gap here. Here, this was created on 27th of September, and you can do the math, but I'm going to go to daily chart, and I will tell you that there are at least three gaps. One gap is around 20,160, another gap is around 26,305, and third gap is around 29,760, and the fourth gap, which is definitely going to be filled, around 34,165. Okay, so I think at short term, we are expecting a little bit of pullback. Okay, and then that pullback, we are very close to this first gap fill. So this gap fill from today, it's around 3%. So we can get a little bit more lower, around 34, fill this gap. And then the target for end of this year is going to be probably this whole area of confluence here. You can see here around 40K. That's my target. So I think from here until end of this year, we could get a massive rally and we could go around 20% upside. All right. So just keep that in mind. Do not blindly short. And the other opportunity is we could get another pullback. We can get a deeper pullback. Okay. We did not backtest this whole area. This was a big resistance here before, which is not turned into support. This whole area around 30 to 32K. We could even get a bigger pullback, and there is a gap around 29,760. So best case, we come back and backtest this trend line, white trend line, and then we go higher. Okay, so my preferred scenario is we come only here and fill this gap, and then we go higher. We can flag, or if we go high, if we get a better pullback, look for a gap fill here, and then we're gonna go bullish. No matter how we go, we'll be here around 20% higher by the end of this year. Ethereum. Let's go to futures to analyze Ethereum live chart. You can see Ethereum, and let me bring back moving averages. So you have a better picture here. Here you go. So you can see Ethereum is still holding nicely above this blue line, which is 200 SMA line, dark blue line, and its price action is holding nicely there. Okay, so nothing changed, and we made a new high on Ethereum. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can say new high and slight divergence on RSI. Okay, so we just got to be a bit careful. You can see price is making higher high with divergences, and Bitcoin also. Let's see, I think Bitcoin is also same thing. Bitcoin is also making high, but with divergence on price. What does that mean? Price made a new high compared to previous high, but RSI is making lower high. Okay, so we could get a little bit of cool down here on Bitcoin as well. So like I said, I gave you what are the options earlier this video, and Ethereum can do the same. Okay, Ethereum is now finding support on this 200 SMA line. It could come a little bit more lower, and it can this is the white line is 10 moving average. It can come a little bit more lower and then go higher. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. All right, so that's it for crypto. Let's start with the VIX. VIX is crashing, so 7% down. You can see it's following my projection here. So nothing changed. Daily chart, I'm looking for VIX to crash but from here till mid to end of December. All right. S&P 500, massive pump, almost 1.79%. And actually, if you look at SPY, it gapped up. SPY was down up almost 2%. All right, gap up. If I go to 1 hour chart, if I hide these lines, and let's go back to regular trading session, you can see gap up. So there are three gaps to be filled. One gap here, second gap here, third gap. All these green lines are gaps to be filled. If I go to daily chart, you can see massive gap up. Okay, now I was expecting a pullback to happen here, but now it looks like okay, so there are three gaps up, three gaps, four gaps down. So also there's this downward sloping trend line. So we don't know which way are we going to fill this gap first, make a higher low and then go high. That's what my preferred scenario. Let me bring back moving averages. You can see today we closed above this white line, which is another critical resistance was there, and we just gapped up. All right. And now we're finding resistance on this 50 white yellow line, 50 EMA line. All right. And there's another 50 SMA red line is also coming. So I think this is an ideal scenario where we could go lower, fill the gap, and then we bounce. Okay. So Apple earnings will be a factor here. Apple is down 3% after hours. And you can see here Apple is down below in the support box again. All right, so you can see this blue line, this is where Apple is. It gapped up again, and it had a very bullish close above all moving averages. But look what happened after hours. Now we're coming back on this 200 SMA, which is the blue line, looking to find support here. Okay, so I think what's going to happen now, we're going to have, this is the high low we were looking for. That is your buying opportunity. So tomorrow Apple, if it's going to open here on 200 SMA, it looks like it will open here. That's your good buying opportunity. It's making a high low, and it was again near resistance. You can see Apple came very close to resistance, and that's where exactly very close to resistance, and that's where it's selling off now, right? So you can see here came there. So high low, and then we will be getting ready for a bounce. So this high low on Apple could make a high low on S&P 500, which we're expecting, and then we keep going higher. My target fund of here is new high, all-time highs. All right, triple Qs, same thing here. Very bullish, finding resistance on 50 SMA red line, and I'm looking for high low to fill this gap. We had a gap up again, and then we go higher. Okay, and also there's another resistance coming this way, so it could even go hit that. So we can still go a little bit higher before we get a cool down, but eventually end of the year, my target is here around 385. Looking for new all-time highs on triple Qs as well. Dow Jones, again massive move up. Good that it closed above all moving averages except this red one, and now looking for high low and then go higher. IWM, same scenarios, all indices looking for this high low to fill this gap and then go higher. All right, gold is consolidating. If you get a little bit more pullback, this is the buy zone around 1900, 2000, and then bounce. Silver, a little bit down, still not able to go above this trend line, white trend line. So any dips could be a buying opportunity. If it comes back around here and $22, that will be perfect buying opportunity. Natural gas consolidating, higher high, higher low, nothing changed. It's on a trend, so just keep buying natural gas on all the dips. Crude oil up 2%, but I think eventually it's going to crash, and my target is around $73. Dollar index looking like it wants to drop, break down. That will be bullish for Bitcoin and other stocks. I already covered Apple. Look, it's pre-market, high low. Good buying opportunity. Tesla 6% up, gap up. Now looks like there are two scenarios. Are we gonna go fill this gap before we go higher? I don't know, but sometime we will fill this gap. There are multiple gaps to the up, multiple gaps to the down, so I prefer it fills this gap and then go higher, but no guarantees. It can straight go up. This is the whole gap as well. All right, Netflix up 1%. Keep going higher, nothing changed. Microsoft up 0.65%, very close to filling this gap, still a little bit gap left, 349. Google also gap up, gave a lot of the thing back. I think at this time it looks like it's certain for filling this gap around 127 before going higher. Facebook looking for this gap fill before going higher, and Amazon. Again, looking for probably fill this gap before we go higher again. Okay. In November, maybe towards last week of November, we should see some weakness. Snowflake just consolidating with bullish momentum. Not sure why it's down today, but looking for gaps. I think earnings going to be very positive for Snowflake. NVDA up. I think the gap is filled, so gap up, and this gap is filled, so I can delete this. So now there are gaps to the downside. So also there's another gap here on 460 that could be our target. AMD, just consolidation, massive move, so nothing changed. Looking for higher prices here. Toronto Stock Exchange, another gap up. 1 day candle, look at this, almost 3% up. I don't know when this gap will be filled. It will be filled at some point, but I don't know when. We are looking for high, low, and then continue higher. All right. Hang Seng Index, China. Also now you can see here breaking out of this downwards dotted line. And let me fix this. Oops, let me fix this. Here you go. And back testing and now going higher. So nothing changed here. Let's look at commodities. Copper breaking out. As I said, buying the buy zone. Palladium also struggling. Still, let's wait for it to close above 1139. Wheat in the buy zone. So just in the support zone. Corn breaking down. Well, it's not a good news, but still new, not new low. Even if it gets lower, we'll still have divergence. Soybeans in the buy zone. Sugar just consolidating, looking for buy on this trend line. If that dip happens, TNX rates breaking down, which is good news for stocks. And Newmont Mine consolidating, looking for this gap fill, $36. Cold Miners looking for this gap fill, $27. And all the sectors here, XLK tech sector gap up, so just keeps going higher. XLE energy sector almost up 3%. Wow, what a candle. Are we gonna go lower? I'm not sure. Let's see if we can go lower. That's what I would prefer before filling gap up. XLV massive move upside, so let's see, are we going to get a higher low, then we go higher? Let's see if we're going to get that. Okay, we're going to keep an eye on that. And healthcare is also looking very, very bullish. XLU utility sector breaking out, so now this resistance became support, so we're going to mark this as a green now. You can see resistance becomes support, so it can consolidate, then it can bounce. XLI industrial also same thing. Looks like we might need a pullback now sooner than later on industrial. Let's see if we can get that. Real estate sector also breaking out of this downwards line. You can see this downwards line, so that's good news. Maybe we will do a back test, then we can go higher. Okay, real estate sector. Financials up, massive up. I'm expecting a pullback now across the sector, high, low, and then go higher. KRE, same thing, 5% up. Looking for this pullback. When we're gonna get before we go higher. All right. Okay, I think that's about it for today, guys. Let's quickly look at futures. Apple is down 3%. Let's go back to let's go back to futures 1 minute chart. Here you go, the script here. So you can see, let me add extended hours training here. So you can see what's happening here. S&P 500 now above third standard deviation. This is where you should be looking to exit. Take profits. This is only for short term, guys. You should be looking to take profits here. Okay, it's near third standard deviation. Nasdaq 100 now dumping from third standard deviation because of Apple earnings. So if you get lower, this is where you should be selling anyhow, and then buy on these green zones. Dow Jones, perfect sell entry near third standard deviation. Russell 2000 also getting close to third standard deviation, so this could be another perfect entry here. All right, and let's quickly look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin came to the buy zone, now bouncing. Ethereum also came to the buy zone and bouncing. All right, guys, that's it for today. And if you like my channel, please hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family. And there's a free link to the Discord in the description. You can join it. And if you want to know pre-market zones, which I share every morning to the members, you can join my YouTube channel, and it's very cheap, around $6 a month. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye bye.